Yeah, but you know what? This goes into into the next segue of what we're going to be talking about, and that is, drivers are at a breaking point at the time, and they're trying to resort to somehow, get some sort of relief. And what's going on in Minneapolis, if you don't know, we're going to be talking about that, and that is essentially, they are looking at the city council to create an ordinance in order to have better pay and driver protections and things like that. So, this might end up going somewhere where you have to go to a local city and get things started. That's kind of what happened in Seattle, and then Seattle had their law that went into effect that had a plethora of amazement, and then it went to the entire state of Washington, where I don't even, what is it, like $1.50 something right now
$1.50 a
per
mile.
mile,
Yep.
which is great for the average person.
Yep.
And I mean, so
60 cents a minute too. 60 cents a minute. 60. Yeah,
it's quite a good money. So, if you want to talk about the what rideshare drivers are doing when it comes to
well, I mean, this is the front page of the article. Minnesota has been actually one of the, between Chicago and Minnesota, they're competing in carjacking. So obviously safety is one issue, and then pay is another issue with drivers. That's been going on for years now, right? I mean, as we do our surveys, the top two complaints are pay and safety. So this hits on both. And then, hopefully the local legislature has some balls, and then they go in and say, hey man, come to the table, we got to talk about this. And then that's the only way these companies are going to come to the table. Otherwise they're going to do what they do best. They're going to manipulate, they're going to whatever they do, exploit, or as Jeff says, and labor launder, and they're going to try to make money. I mean, look, they're trying to make money, you're trying to make money. So our goals are diametrically opposed to each other. The only way they can make money is charge as much as they can and pay as little as they can, and then, well, that's us. So on the next one, actually, there were a couple of comments. This Freddie Goldstein guy, this guy was the same guy in New York too, remember?
Yep.
Well, Freddie says, hey, Freddie, or whoever it is watching now, said in a statement that it's our hope that we can work with drivers and local elected officials to deliver a package of benefits, bullshit, and that improve the driver experience while maintaining flexibility, as we have done elsewhere. Elsewhere being Washington State, Seattle, and all the other cities. We'll look forward to reviewing the city council proposed policy. So all I'm saying to the city council of, Minneapolis, please, just go copy the Seattle model. Everybody will be very happy. Yep. And then on the third page, Lyft made a comment. Lyft says, Lyft cares deeply about drivers. I'm like, okay. And we work hard to ensure our platform offers valuable blah, blah, blah. In fact, look at this one, Chris. Come on, Chris. Hold
on, I got to cut you off real quick. If there's anybody watching this right now, whether you're in the live chat or whether you're watching the replay and you're looking at this, send this part to your city council, because we want to clarify and make sure that your city council knows some of the tactics and language that they're using in order to make it seem like it's a lot better than what it actually is. So we want to clarify this right now when it comes down to it. When it says 35 per utilized hour, a city council member is not going to know what that means. Essentially, that means when you are in period 2 and 3, when you're on the way to pick somebody up and you have a butt in the seat. It doesn't count all the time that you're waiting for a ride to come in. So that whole period 1, it doesn't count that. So somebody could be active for 15 minutes in that hour, but for the other 45 minutes, they're sitting there unpaid. So this is something that drivers and city council really need to pay attention to when it comes down to it, especially when it comes to that. So any Minneapolis people that are watching, again, cut this segment right here and share it with your city council and let them know exactly what they're talking about. So then these terms that they're using, they know the ins and outs, because unfortunately city council, they're not driving.
They don't know.
They don't know the lingo. They don't know language, and we want to help them know what the language actually is.
I'll give you the math on this, Chris, okay? To any city councilman who's going to watch this or in the future, or whoever is watching this at the moment, is this. So assume I did a trip or a delivery, okay? It took me exactly 15 minutes from the time I picked up the food or the passenger to the time I dropped them off. That's called utilized hour. That's called active hour in these people's world, okay? And it paid me $9, 15 minutes for $9. Now, Lyft or Uber or Doordash or whoever it is, they can take that $9 for 15 minutes, multiplies times 4. That gets me to $36 an hour per utilized hour, per active hour. And they can say this, which is wrong, because we know nobody in the country at the moment is making $35+ You can mass-wise, but you are not making it online time. Guaranteed you're not. Nobody is. But what they do is, this shouldn't even be allowed to be done this way, Chris, right? I mean, if I do one trip and it took me 15 minutes and the rest of the 45 minutes, I'm empty. I'm waiting for another customer, okay, or an order. And as a company like Lyft and Uber can say, oh, the drivers are making 35 per utilized hour. Well, what happened to my 45 minutes that I didn't do anything, right? You can extrapolate this. You can annualize things. You can do all the math, fuzzy math you can do. But, this is not kosher when they put up, 35+ per utilized hour, including tips and bonuses, by the way. I'm like, utilized hour is meaningless, bro. I'm sitting here. I did one trip took me 15 minutes for $9, and you're going to bring that to 35? Bullshit. That's what I call that one. That's what kind of math that is. So don't buy this 35+ utilized per hour city councilmen or women in Minnesota, because it's not true. It may be true. I don't know. They have the data, I'm sure, but you can get to 35 many different ways and very easily.
The big thing is, though, it does not reflect the actual time a driver is online. And it doesn't take into account the time that they're waiting for a ride to come in or an order to come in, whether it's on Uber, whether it's on Lyft or another platform. Yeah. So that's the lingo that they try to use in order to make it sound like it's better than what it actually might. Not only that, because this is the slowdown period, there's less people, taking rides, there's less people ordering rides. So demand for it has gone down, but there's also a big supply at the moment. And there's more supply coming because there's layoffs. People are trying to make money. So that means out of the pie that you have, the slice of pie gets smaller and smaller for each driver that's online at that same time. So you could have 100 drivers online and only 80 rides are coming in, which means 20 drivers are sitting there at any given time. And that's going to fluctuate all the time. So a driver who is actually online, that is not necessarily the same as what utilized. Again, that's utilized hours only when they're going to pick up somebody because they had a request to come in, they accepted it, they're on the way there, or they have a butt in the seat and they're actually transporting them from point A to point B.
It's like how Kim, you're when you're doing DoorDash, right? Dash time versus, active time, how it fluctuates massively, maybe in your city not, but my utilization factor when I do deliveries is like 48%, right? So that means half the hour I'm not doing anything. Yeah, my utilized hour rates, I'm doing like $48 an hour utilized. Yeah, but then on online time for all the hours I'm out there, I'm doing half as much because my utilization rate is 50% or 48%. So when these companies come out and erroneously say, "Oh, utilized hour $35+," I'm like, what do you think I'm doing the rest of the time? Lyft or Uber? You think I'm just kind of sitting there and twiddling my fingers? No, you can't just extrapolate and check your numbers to a point that is not even valid. I mean, to be honest with you, but they do it. They do it, and it's false advertising at best, actually.
Yeah, and the one thing I'm going to say too is, again, if any council member does end up watching this, look at the Seattle, Washington, and the state of Washington's model. They put together something that is, to both Sergio and myself, exceeded our expectations and something that I think should be modeled after across the country.
Lyft even mentioned that, by the way, on that comment. Lyft, the Lyft spokesperson, mentioned Seattle literally, and I'm glad they did, because maybe they are looking into it. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, that's where we are.
Any comments from Kim or Jeff? Quickly.
Go ahead, Jeff. issue of projected pay is really sticky. Doordash has done the same thing, throwing out numbers in their ads of $22 an hour or $24 an hour or all different numbers. The fact is they're gaming with these numbers, and anybody that looks at projections from the companies themselves should question it. And ultimately, I think these companies are going to find themselves on the wrong side of a lawsuit because they are playing funny math with the numbers. They don't add up, as they say. And in franchises, in the franchise world, you can't get anyone to tell you what you will make when you buy a franchise because there's laws against that. And they're doing the same thing here, but they're deceiving us. There's no laws against deceiving gig workers, and that's what they're doing.
Yep, I agree. All right.
Right here, hold on. We got a comment said, I'd like to go to my city council, but Uber and Lyft, I thought were governed by this
They're
state.
not governed by anybody. They're not governed by anybody. Okay?
Any city, any town can create an ordinance, and that's exactly what happened in Seattle. Seattle started it, and then it went into the state of Washington because Seattle had made the changes. The state of Washington it got pushed into as well too. So yeah, I mean, this is something where drivers could start potentially going into city councils and trying to talk to council members and seeing if they can get something put on the books that's going to be something similar to the Seattle model or something different completely. It's going to be an interesting time, that's for sure.
Yep.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.